Welcome, everybody, to the Collider Premier League recap show, Week 3. So much to talk about. John Roca here, joined as always by Jack Hind, a resident Englishman, soccer expert, and Arsenal gooner. That's right, I said it. Isn't that what they say, gooner for the Arsenal fans?
Gooner, yeah, gooner or
Where does
gunner.
that come from? You being goons? Or
well,
what?
no, when you look at the badge, it's a cannon, isn't it? So you're a gunner, and then the gunner turned into gooners.
I got it. Okay, interesting things I discover as I go along. I don't know what Scouser means. No, I'm just joking. All right, so a lot of stuff happened this weekend, but I want to start off with the big game that exploded here. That may have some ramifications going forward. We touched on it last week, Jack, the idea of Mourinho, Zidane coming in for Mourinho. There's all kinds of rumors going around now. The noise and the buzz for that got even louder after this loss to Tottenham. Yeah, the Spurs at home, 3-0. What is, first of all, what was your overall reaction to the game, and what is your reaction to Mourinho's press conference when he walked away in the middle bragging that he'd won three Premier League titles compared to the entire rest of the managers combined?
It wasn't even that enjoyable of a game.
Yeah?
Like, Man United just really, they looked like a Sunday League team. They didn't look strong. They didn't look confident. They didn't look like they wanted to play. Didn't look like they wanted to score. There was just nothing really going for them. And Spurs just looked absolutely solid. Again, Spurs have become a very entertaining team, as much as I hate to say it. They're banging in goals left, right, and centre. They're not conceding. Like, at the moment, they look like the team who are going to be going through to the end. Like, they haven't had difficulties. Like, Chelsea this week seemed as though they had a bit of difficulty to them. Yeah. Tottenham have not seemed like they've had to struggle so far in any way, shape, or form. Yeah,
this is what we were talking about off camera yesterday as we were watching the game together. You said that you were worried that people would focus more on the Mourinho's issues and the issues with Pogba more than would focus on the form of Tottenham. Yeah. And Tottenham looks fantastic.
They look absolutely phenomenal. And it was the commentators who mentioned it as well whilst I was watching yesterday. Yeah. And they were saying it's like, and the thing that sucks about this is that Tottenham aren't probably going to get the praise that they do deserve because Mourinho's going to, my uncle's going to cuss me out for saying that. And that's literally exactly what just went through my head as I froze. I was like, great, everyone in my family is about to call me out now. But yeah, it's going to get shrouded by the fact that Mourinho is definitely on his last legs. And now anybody, if that was any team, if that was Norwich, just say Norwich are in the Premier League and they beat them, then still, it wouldn't be that Norwich beat Man United 3-0 at home. It would still be what's next for Mourinho because that's what's going to sell through the media. Right. And I believe that sucks a little bit. That does suck because Tottenham do deserve to get the credit that they've earned. Yeah,
marching into Old Trafford is not easy to do and take them out 3-0. Certainly not easy to do. This is the second loss in a row for Man U. You had a brace for Lucas Moura and another August goal from Harry Kane. Looks like he's off to Schneid in that way. Yeah. The defeat Mourinho is the most lopsided home loss he's had in his career. And Tottenham is the first visiting team to score 3 goals against Man U at Old Trafford under Mourinho. I thought Man U had a good first half. I thought they actually moved the ball well. They just couldn't find the back of the net. But I think in that second half, they were just all, I don't know, what do they call all sevens? What's the phrase? All sixes and sevens? Yeah, it felt like they were all sixes and sevens all over the place. And we'll see what happens because it came out on ESPN this morning that sources at Man U are supporting Mourinho. They're not like looking to replace him yet. So I don't know how long
after
that's
that press conference, he really tarnished He made that about Jose Mourinho. He didn't make that about Man United. Right. So if I was on the board, and I remember last week I said something about Ed Woodward being like I believe is like the vice chairman or something, not the owner or whatever it was. He had the same face again yesterday, which was just as great. He had sat there the whole time pouting.
At least they scored against Brighton.
Yeah, exactly. At least they managed to get a goal in against Brighton. But it just, Mourinho made it about himself. Yeah. And that's what he says. He goes from saying the score was 3-0. 3-0. Yeah. Do you know what 3 means? 3 times I've won the Premier League. Yeah, but they were with Chelsea.
Yeah, this is word association. This is
word association.
Yeah, this is when a manager starts to lose the plot a little bit and starts to defend their record, starts to put others. To me, once a manager starts doing that, the game is over. Like mentally, the game is over
because he's talking about himself. I'm sorry, but let's talk about how many times Manchester United have won the Premier League. More times than you, sir.
Right.
Like,
you could say
that's
that.
what I'm saying. Like,
Absolutely.
so what are you trying to say? That the manager is better than the team and the team's not deserving of the manager? Right. Like, come on, Jose.
And he was saying, like,
Jose, Portuguese, I know it's one or the other.
He was saying they were like cheering for them after the match, the standing ovations, blah,
because
blah, blah.
they deserved it?
Yeah, that's what he
did
said.
Not.
But in Sevilla, against Sevilla, they didn't deserve it, so that they rightfully got booed. So to me, all of that is just it's all interesting logic to try to defend the fact that he's lost the players. It seems pretty
he's lost
obvious.
the dressing room.
Yeah,
massively.
I mean, Big Ape, no
and
effort.
the fans. He's lost the fans. I don't even
yeah.
think there's that many United fans now that are saying like, yeah, we're so happy we have Jose Mourinho here. I mean, if there are, then feel free to let me know. I'm sure you will in the comments. But I mean, I wouldn't want my manager turning around and saying that at a press conference. I wouldn't want him to turn around and say, I have won the league 3 times.
Right.
Nobody else, no other managers in this league have done so. Like, he's such a cocky bastard.
Well, it's a great... yeah, that's a great point there, Jack. Because he's also basically saying like a veiled message at his players. You need to listen to me because I've won the Premier League 3 times. If you listen to me, we can win the Premier League together again. But that's not what's happening. I don't think it's getting through them at all. I do think there'll be a change no matter what support the sources say now at Man U. No matter what support he's got from the people at Man U, I think there will be a change soon because you can't take many more of these losses. Eventually, you lose the season.
Yeah, he ain't the special one anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, no,
it's just not who he is anymore.
It's possible the game has passed him by. It's really possible. It happens all the time.
Especially the
managers.
English Premier League. It's so quickly evolving nowadays with the different types of players that we've got coming in. And nowadays with all the new managers that are coming in as well. Like it seems to be a clean overhaul now. And that's where I think, it's kind of gotten away from him. He can't keep up with it because of the stress and the pressure that he has.
And I also think, Jack, and you might think of the history of football here in the Premier League. Once you're a star manager, it's really hard to fall back down and exist in the mid-tier teams.
Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, Arsene Wenger could. There's
Prime
no
example.
way. Sam Allardyce can make a living doing that. Neil Warnock can make a living doing that. A lot of managers can make a living doing that. The star managers really can't. It's either the big job or nothing.
Yeah.
And you're seeing Benitez suffering over at Newcastle, which we'll get to a little later in the show. This guy was a star manager. Now he's at Newcastle, and it's just an imperfect fit all around. Yeah. And so that's what happens. They need their stars to really bring their knowledge of football and to the bear on the pitch. And when they don't have it, don't have the players, they can't do it.
And some of these smaller managers now, like Brighton's manager as well, like they're able to learn against.
Yes.
Like they can play against them now. And you see the way that these teams are setting up against a Jose Mourinho team. It's kind of like every player has already been marked, every player's man marked, they're all in their back pocket because you just know exactly how Jose's going to play.
Exactly.
He hasn't evolved himself in his own tactics anymore. He thinks his same tactics, which is what Arsene Wenger did.
Yeah.
Thinks his same tactics are still going to work, and unfortunately, people can play against them now.
Yeah, and they know, and they see the defensive frailties there in the back line on Man U, and they know how to expose it.
Yeah,
and
massively.
That's not going to stop.
Chris Smalling is your prime example of a defensive frailty.
He completely got destroyed on that third.
Oh, Lucas Moura embarrassed him, didn't he? Just got his legs crossed like ramen and just made him fall on his ass. That sucked.
It's terrible all around. Anyway, let's move on to the other side of Manchester. Manchester City taking on Wolves there from Molineux Stadium. It was a 1-1 draw. Willy Boley got a handball goal, which this disgusting. It's disgusting. The way he celebrated it as if, it was a totally legitimate goal, I thought was a little...
Okay.
I don't like it.
When it comes to handball, right?
And I didn't like Maradona's hand of God goal.
I didn't like that either,
Maradona,
being an Englishman. Don't worry about that. We'll talk about that
Some
later
people talk about
on.
present,
No, I actually got to spend some time with Maradona when I was back in Dubai.
Really?
Yeah, I've had the privilege of meeting
Interesting
Diego
cat, huh?
Maradona. Very, very, very interesting guy, let me tell you that. That was a lot of fun, though. But Man City Wolves... Man City could have scored 6, 7, 8 goals. How many times did they hit the woodwork? I don't know. But, Wolves stood up to them.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm saying to you how some of now these smaller managers are able to look at a manager like Pep Guardiola, look at his team and be like, cool, I'm going to defend against you.
Right.
I'm going to do nothing but make sure my team is fully defensive and then get you on the counter. And I think Wolves did an excellent job against Man City. Very impressed with the 1-1 draw. That handball thing.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Do I want to say it's a... Look, so when it comes to handball, right, your handball's supposed to be in an unnatural place for it to be considered a handball.
Sure.
He's diving to head the ball. You can see that his intention
the effort
is to
was
dive
to
and
use
head
the head ball, yes.
So, technically, that's not a handball because he's not purposely got his arm in an unnatural position. His arms are coming out to stop him from breaking his neck as his face is about to hit the floor. And the ball's just skimmed across the top of his forehead and managed to hit his hand. So with his hand being in a natural position, I tell you what, who did you NBC Sports out here, right? They had Mark Clattenburg.
They did.
Oh, how amazing was it having him and having a professional ex-referee walking you through like a bunch of the things that happened over the weekend.
Yes.
If you haven't been able to see that, make sure to try and look it up. I'm sure NBC posted it onto YouTube.
Yeah.
Or
What
something.
Jack is talking about is they had footage from the FA Cup final, which was incredible to hear the referees and the assistant referees talking in conjunction through a play when a penalty was called and what the code words are and how they go about communicating. And Clattenburg broke it all down, stopped, went through the tape like you'd see in a normal play, an analysis from a former player talking about what's going on with the pitch, what's going on the pitch. He was talking to you like as a referee, telling you what goes on with these referees when they're communicating. Oh, that's fascinating.
Oh, it's football history.
Yeah,
like, we've never got to see that before. Like an insight into what the referees have to go through. That really was pretty phenomenal watching that.
But
I mean,
Rebecca Lowe was going nuts about it.
No, she was crazy. Rebecca Lowe, I'm a huge fan as well.
She was beside herself,
But yeah, I would love to have like Mark Clattenburg or somebody like that sat with us now to really walk us through how a referee or a fourth official would have looked at that handball and whether or not I mean, clearly it does, and it has counted as a goal.
Yeah, it did count as a goal. I just thought his celebration was a bit too much for something like that. But
I think it was to distract.
Yeah,
I think the big
I'm
celebration was to distract from the fact that you knew that he just did it.
I'm surprised he kept his shirt on. But I thought the match was a good back and forth. What you said,
brilliant.
City played well, had opportunities to definitely take this game. But I thought Wolves held up well, and Wolves slowly, week by week, you see them finding their shape, finding their form, figuring each other out. Yeah, the Portuguese connection is starting to work. Moutinho was who crossed the ball in there for Bully to score.
Moutinho's absolute quality. I miss watching him play as well. He was back in his day. He was just absolute mustard. Good fun.
But what's interesting though is these are the games that City won last year. So the fact that they only drew here, I wonder if there are some things to maybe think about, some considerations to look at, or if it's just luck, like bad luck for them.
I think they were
because Molineu's not easy to win it.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne's out now as well for a little while. So I think that kind of put a little bit of uncertainty on Pep Guardiola for the middle of his midfield for that number 10 role. Now he has to kind of rely on David Silva. And I think maybe he was kind of worried about pushing David Silva too far because he needs to use him for the next 3 months.
Right.
So I think he maybe changed up his formation and changed up his team a little bit and then realized that didn't work. And maybe having De Bruyne not as that backbone or David Silva as his backbone for De Bruyne when De Bruyne's playing, I think that now Pep Guardiola's getting around to that.
Yeah,
I think this weekend was him like, oh shit, I need to work out a new routine now that doesn't rely on a number 10 at all almost. So that he doesn't have to completely rely on that central midfielder.
Well, we'll see what happens. Laporte got the goal there for Man City. And
what a header.
Yeah, it was a nice header.
What a I love seeing defenders score a good header like that. Like coming in just from 6 yards out and just running in and attacking it.
Yeah.
Quality.
We had a
brilliant
few of these.
defensive
We had a
header.
few of these this weekend too, so we'll get to them as we go along.
I mean, it was the
great stuff.
week of defenders and goalkeepers, in my opinion. The goalkeepers in every game were phenomenal this weekend, and the defenders were banging in goals left, right, and centre.
It was really interesting.
Yeah, it was really cool.
You speak about Kevin De Bruyne, who's out for the next 3 months, someone who's going to be out now for the next 2 games. Richarlison for Everton got that red card going into this game with Bournemouth. Great game, great back and forth, which we thought would happen between Everton and Bournemouth. 2-2 ends up in a draw. Everton had this it was all in their hands, even with the red card against a stupid red card by Richarlison. I don't understand that kind of headbutt. Yes, did he make a meal of it? But at least the guy didn't fall down like other players might have to make even more of a meal of it. Took the headbutt. I don't know what he said to Richarlison, but this is the game of football. This is the professional game of football. Stuff's going to be said. Zidane was wrong when he headbutted in the World Cup final. Richarlison is wrong to headbutt here, don't you think?
I mean,
or do you think it was too harsh? You think a yellow would have been warranted? What?
I don't know what to say about this because I get called out like crazy apparently. So I will take it back real quick. I did say Jamie Vardy's last week wasn't a red card.
You did.
And after I did look over it a little bit more, I do see how he went over the top of the ball and could have caught the side. So I will apologize for that. I just didn't get to see it well enough. And now I'm probably going to get called out again. Do I think that deserves a red card?
Yeah.
The only reason nowadays why this is a red card is because this is a bad example towards the kids out there and the fans who are watching.
Right.
Anywhere else, if that wasn't televised,
if this is the
that's
70s
not
or
a,
80s, that's not a red card.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
right. I'm going to bring up a moment right now when Ruud van Nistelrooy missed a penalty against Arsenal. I want to say in like 2006, 2007 again with Manchester United. And Martin Keown, all of them were like jumping over him when he missed his penalty, running up behind him, pushing him over, like barging into him. No one ever got a yellow card.
That's right.
Like,
That's right.
But nowadays, two people put their heads together and one of them's a little bit taller and he just nudges him back because get off me.
Yeah.
Like if you're putting your head towards somebody, Adam Smith went up to him first.
Yeah.
If you're calling Richarlison's reaction as the red card, no. You send off the person who started it, not who reacted to it. Adam Smith was the one that got up off the floor, walked over towards Richarlison and put his head towards his head. So now Richarlison's the one who's supposed to be the bigger man and not react. You're in a heated, passionate game of football right now. This is something these kids and these guys have been doing their whole life. And if somebody squares up to you like that, it's get out of my face. That's what Richarlison was doing. He was like, get out of my face. He didn't headbutt him. He didn't break his nose. He pushed his head back with his own head.
Right. If you compare it to Zidane's was very
Zidane
obvious.
was a straight up
it's a legitimate
crack right into the chest. Like, without foul. No doubt.
Anybody's ever been in a bar fight or fight outside of a bar, you know that's a legitimate headbutt.
One of the best moments in football ever. That was. Do I want to say
Richarlison?
Richarlison? And at least Adam Smith got his just desserts.
He did.
By pulling back Theo Walcott and getting his own red card there as well.
Yeah, he did.
So I guess that was
balanced
it balanced the game
things
out
yeah.
for me.
Oh, you mentioned Walcott. I thought Walcott played fantastic in this game.
Where the fuck was where on earth was Walcott? This Walcott at the end of his Arsenal career. This is the Walcott that we wanted for a very long time. He's pacey down the wing. He's got a great shot. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he spent a lot of time with Thierry Henry. He said it in an interview as well. When he was at Arsenal in his last couple of years, Thierry Henry was there a lot training with him. Apparently only just decided to come into play. Well, apparently he's only just clocked it all and realised, oh, wait a minute, this is what I'm capable of. Absolutely brilliant display by Theo.
Yeah, Theo did. He got the first goal. Then Michael Keane got a goal there. Bournemouth bounced back, had two quick goals in the 75th and 79th minute from Joshua King and Nathan Ake. Ake, is that what his name is? Ake, yeah. But this is interesting to me because Michael, it was a penalty. Michael Keane had a scary head. He had scored the goal and then had an incredibly scary head injury there when he slammed into heads with a fellow teammate with Idris Gueye. That was scary as hell. I have seen that only happen a couple of times.
Correct.
On a soccer pitch to see it like that. I mean, he went lifeless, man. It completely frozen on the ground.
He tweeted out, right? Or he sent out an Instagram post.
He did.
Just a hairline fracture in the skull.
But he's out for 3 to 4 weeks.
Out for 3 to 4 weeks. I mean, hey, he's probably going to come back with a similar type of thing as to what Czech wears. You can't have any head contact for like 3 to 4 weeks. That means he'll probably be out for about 2 months, I reckon, because they'll have to make sure that he gets back to his. And he's going to be scared.
Yeah.
Like, that's a horrifying thing. We've seen it with a lot of players. I mean, Aaron Ramsey being one of them. It took him a minute after he got his leg snapped to get back into the game again.
That's a good point,
And I hope that doesn't happen with Michael Keane. I think he's a quality defender, absolutely brilliant centre-half. And I hope he's able to really come back into the game and get back to the level of where he was at.
And you make a great point. He may come back scared. He may come back hesitant, and that could affect you as a defender, especially
as a defender.
Especially headers. I mean, that's
exactly.
the kind of defenders are really, really known for, is trying to keep that stuff out on corner kicks.
Yeah.
You know, you got to go up there and sacrifice yourself. And the way he went up there to sacrifice himself. He did not see the teammate coming around by his own player to have that thing. It's just so unfortunate the way they went down.
Do you think it was a penalty against Leighton Baines? It was like a nudge in the back.
I did not. I didn't think it was a penalty.
Like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a penalty. I thought it was I thought you could have a good conversation about it, and I just didn't think it was a penalty.
The only thing that if Leighton Baines' eyes weren't looking at whether it was Callum Wilson, I can't remember which striker it was, or whoever it was that he fouled. If his eyes weren't looking at him, I would say that probably it wasn't a penalty. But when you do look at it, Leighton Baines does look at the ball, looks at the man, arm in the back, looks back at the ball again.
Right.
So that would be that was the only thing that made me think, like, okay, I can see why this was a very, very, very soft penalty, but I can see why the referee's given it.
Yeah, you saw that it made sense. If he was going to give it, you could at least defend it.
Yeah,
to a
definitely.
Degree.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, but I also think what we talk Bournemouth may be something you may be a team now that you no longer can count as an easy victory.
Yes,
they very much look ready for the battle. Everton came in flying high. and Bournemouth took care of them. Yes, Richarlison getting the red card may have helped in that way,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
we'll see. We'll see. I mean, scoring though, coming back 2-0 is not easy to do, especially that late in the game. The fact they were able to do it at home at Vitality Stadium was pretty amazing. Now let's move on to Jack's team here, Arsenal. Easy victory over West Ham, even though West Ham got the first goal.
I'm not going to say easy. Jesus Christ, I was shitting my
3-1,
pants the
I'm just
first
saying.
45 minutes.
Arnautovic got the first goal. Really nice goal from outside the box. I thought that was a nice goal.
How do you
for
say
them.
his name?
Is it Arnautovic?
Arnautovic.
Arnautovic? Hey, I'm learning.
I know people call you out for saying Premier League as well instead of Premier League.
Premier League?
And I'm like, dude, he's American.
Yeah.
Leave him alone.
Give
We
me a
just
break.
say things differently.
I know this shit. Look, you know what? It's called a freaking elevator, not a lift. All right. Or a water closet. It's a bathroom, damn it.
A what? A water closet?
Yeah,
a lavatory,
a
man.
lavatory. That too.
A water closet. No one calls it a
I don't know. I've
water
been watching
closet.
Blackadder for too long. Great goals from Nacho Monreal. Issa Diop. Am I saying that right?
Issa Diop. Yeah,
good.
the
I
own
got
goal.
that one right.
Yeah.
And Danny Welbeck, who all of a sudden showed up, getting that last goal to make it 3-1. West Ham, I thought they played decent here, but eventually just got worn down by a more talented Arsenal team.
I don't honestly, if I'm to be complete, I think
Yep.
that it was that Issa Diop who really did. He was the big weak link against West Ham.
Okay.
In the first half, they were pushing. They were very solid in midfield. Jack Wilshere, it was so good to see him playing as well.
Yeah.
Weird seeing him playing for the opposite team, but still happy to see him getting the football that he deserves to be playing.
Right.
West Ham were playing great football. They were passing around us very well. They were attacking very well. Arnautovic as a striker is something I never thought. I thought he was wonderful over at Stoke as well. I'm pretty sure that's where he was before. Always been a fan of Arnautovic, and then coming to West Ham, I think he does fit in very nicely. Yeah, we just did something in the second half, I guess. Like, I don't know if it was a conversation that Unai had with the rest of the team.
It feels like there were some changes there that were going on in approach and mentality coming into the second half. And you could see that in the play.
One thing I was very excited about as well was Granit Xhaka being able to play a little bit more forward. So originally I always thought it was Granit Xhaka who had the issue, but it's not. He's just not a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Some of those passes that he started pinging off afterwards were like Xabi Alonso-esque.
Yeah.
Like he was sending them across field directly to Nacho's feet out on the wing.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Come on,
Hey,
Xabi
mate,
Alonso. Come on,
that's what I'm saying. He absolute one of the best passes of the ball to ever play football. So I mean,
Play for
that's why I say esque.
Yeah.
Okay, he was Xabi Alonso-esque.
Fair enough.
But having Lucas Touré, because him and Guendouzi, they're both very attacking midfielders.
Yeah.
We don't need those two. We need somebody who can sit there.
Right.
Lucas Torreira came on and did exactly that.
Yeah.
And Guendouzi didn't have his best half, didn't have one of the best games that he's
Right.
played so far. And so I'm glad Unai is not attached to anyone yet.
Yeah.
I'm glad Unai is really able to bring out any player, no matter who's playing. If they're not doing a good job, they're off the pitch. Now, I do want to talk about the rumour in regards to Mesut Ozil and Unai Emery possibly having an argument in order for him. Because Mesut Ozil is sicker than any football player that's ever lived. I think every 6 to 7 games, Mesut Ozil gets ill and can't play.
Which is rare for a German. Let me just
Which
say
is
that.
rare for an athlete that
Sure.
does nothing but looks after their body and treats it like a temple.
True.
Like, I'm sorry, you should. I don't get sick that much. And
Yeah,
I'm not working out 12 times, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just tell us what it is.
Yeah.
Was he mad that he got brought off last game?
I think that's
Is he
what it
not
is.
liking the new system? Because I don't want to see him go. I don't want to see him belittled, and I don't want to see him not playing anymore.
Yeah, it's really important to have him in the team. You need him in the team. You need Mesut. I thought he was going to be a really powerful force this year. He hasn't quite 100% shown it, so we're still waiting for him to have that breakout game where he takes control of the team, and you don't see that happening, and it's a little frustrating. But Emery is, I like this. We talked about this last week. They needed this victory coming off the tough openings, 2 games they had in the season. This is a good victory for them. But Emery, true to form, afterwards said, I saw a lot that I liked, but a lot that I didn't like. We still need to work on. Yeah, they're still adapting to his system. That's going to take some time. But this is a good victory for them going into the
in
week,
one of
next
his
week.
interviews as well, he said that he really, before, a lot of people were asking why you're not playing Aubameyang, Aubameyang and Lacazette at the same time. And he says we need to focus on the possession first.
Yeah.
We need to learn how to keep the ball before we can then give the ball to somebody who can score with it. And I'm like, what? All right, Arsene Wenger. Like, I was like, brilliant. Here we go again for another 22 years with the same bloody formula in regards to it.
I like Lacazette.
I
want to
Lacazette.
see him play more.
Oh, and I'm glad he's got some competition now as well. Because I feel like
Motivated.
last year he didn't have much competition. Him and Giroud are very different players, but him, Aubameyang and Welbeck are all very similar strikers. I'm glad Welbeck got his goal. I thought it was very well composed. Didn't have to do that much once he got onto the pitch, but what he did do was, within his first couple touches, stopped the ball dead, did a nice turn, put it away.
We've seen better strikers than Welbeck, sky shots like that close with that much time to set the ball and shoot. So it was nice that he took care of it and rolled on.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
By the way, it's very weird to see Giroud in a Chelsea shirt. It's just very weird for me to see Giroud.
Yeah,
it seems
love
unnatural.
Giroud. Yeah,
it seems
very
I'm so
much
used to see him in the Arsenal kit.
Yeah.
It's just weird to see him in the Chelsea shirt.
Well, we love selling. Arsene Wenger loves selling our players to our rivals. You know, just
so
why
bad.
not? Why not do it?
Right. Okay. Huddersfield Town, Cardiff City. That's a snoozer. 0-0.
Yeah, good. It was.
Did you enjoy the game?
I think I wrote the same thing. I was like, it was a bit of a boring game.
It was. What we expected that.
Oh, Hogg's red card.
Yeah. That should have changed the game.
Again, this is me saying, was it a red card?
Yeah.
Like the geezer.
That's all you. To me, it's
got
I could
all
see
up in
why
his
it was.
face.
Oh, yeah.
Look at you.
I know.
Geezer got all up in his face and like ran at him. So
Yeah.
David Hogg, and like the whole team was going at each other. Like everybody was going at each other at that moment. So I'm not sure how David Hogg was the one that why the referee decided to give David Hogg the red card as the captain. I saw him push the player down, and again, it's like, whatever. People grow up. You know what I'm saying? Grow a pair, get over it, get on with the game.
The one thing I did want to ask you coming out of that game, do you like those neon green jerseys? I kind of like the neon green jerseys. Or do you think it doesn't fit in the English Premier League?
Well done. You said it
Thank
right
you,
that
sir.
time.
The EPL.
I don't mind. I love the creativity when it comes to kits. I love that some people say that the goalkeeper has to have a green kit so that he blends in and so that people can't see him.
Yeah,
and then other tactical managers say that the goalkeeper has to have a colourful kit because apparently when it goes into your brain, you see that colour and a bright orange, you automatically aim for it. So it prevents you from actually shooting to the sides.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot of... I don't know what the word mental capability is when it comes to choosing the colours of kits, I believe. Or the designer just really liked the colour neon green and was like, sod it, let's put them in neon green.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool has had some interesting third kits.
That is
with
correct.
Some very bright colors, that orange one.
Ours is sexy this year.
Is
the
it
black
really?
and pink one. Oh, yeah, it's like black with like pink lining, like a nice dark. Yeah, it's really nice this year.
That's on you. Okay, fair enough. All right, anyway, moving on.
Trust me, it's nice. Okay, everyone's going to agree with me.
You better wear it when sometime this
They
week.
cost 60 quid.
What? That's
Cost
nothing
a
for a
fortune.
jersey. That's what you're supposed to pay. I bought mine before the season. The new Liverpool kit got a 10 on the back, says Roca on the back. That's right.
You got 10
I was
Roca?
one of those terrible people.
I haven't done that since I was about 13, John.
I have 5 Liverpool jerseys. I have going back to Carlsberg. I have that.
Oh, the old Carlsberg kit? Yeah,
I
I
keep that
5,
one.
I think,
I will
the
never let
Carlsberg
go of
kit.
that one.
Yeah, it's a brilliant
beautiful.
kit.
There's 3 stripes down the side. It's the one that fits me the best too. Then I have a Warrior one, and then I have the last 2 that they've done. That 25th anniversary one, or whatever, 125th anniversary one. And I got with the Champions League patches. It says Salah on the back, and he got his shoulder injured. So I was mad about that. Anyway, Leicester. I might never wear that jersey again. It cost me a good amount of money. Leicester City taking on Southampton from Southampton St. Mary's Stadium. This is a 2-1 victory for Leicester City. Leicester quietly building themselves back up again.
Yeah,
it seems
definitely.
like. Ryan Bertrand opened the scoring in the 52nd minute, but then Leicester quickly answered in the 56th with a Damari Gray strike, and then Harry Maguire winning it in the second half in stoppage time. And now Southampton had failed to score at home in 4 out of their last 6 games, so it's nice that they got a goal here. But there was a useless red card for Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I hope I say that right.
Yep, Højbjerg.
Such a comical dive. Like, what?
He got a yellow card earlier on in the game.
A comical. Yeah, they had a yellow earlier, but neither one of those 2 defenders touched him, and he threw himself down.
No, and honestly, I feel like there wasn't no need for him to.
Yeah, there wasn't a need for it.
He got past both the players.
Yes.
He did a great run.
Yeah.
Did a good job. To go for the shot. Try and square the ball. Carry on running. It didn't look like he tripped. It really did look like he just threw himself down. He didn't kick the ball too far away. He didn't lose control of the ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, that really was a really dumb red card. There was absolutely no need for that to happen.
Yeah.
And I think he was just trying to do what his team were 2-1 down. He was in the penalty box. He saw an opportunity. I think he went for it.
Well,
so on the same side, I can't blame him for it.
I get it, but Jack, to me, that's what frustrates me. It's the chances you take in those moments because you're trying to essentially steal the game. You're trying to cheat to win the game.
Yeah.
And that bothers me a lot. And that's what a lot of people push back on when they look at footballers. They go, well, look, these guys throw themselves around the pitch. They don't really get hurt. They're not really injured. And we'll talk to the Chelsea. Like that goal in the Chelsea game when Giroud supposedly got nailed in the face and then when you watch him, he immediately pops up when the goal gets scored because he's mad. And that's like, oh, really? Were you that injured? You could pop up that quickly and get mad about it. So to me, those are the things that when you see something like this, these are marks against the game. These are blemishes against the game. You don't need that kind of thing. Play it well, like you said. He lost control of the ball with his touch. That's why he threw himself to the ground, not because these guys got in the way or affected him in his movement. He lost the ball with his touch. Then he threw himself on the ground. Neither of these two guys touched him, and it ended up costing the team because they scored in stoppage time.
Correct.
And it may have been because they had the one-man advantage.
Have the Højbjerg.
Yeah, that's certainly possible.
Yeah, because Harry Maguire came in from that position as well, didn't he, when he scored?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cut in at the top of the box there, which is normally where your number 4 would pretty much be, or Højbjerg would be. And yeah, like you say, that possibly could have changed the game for him. Yeah.
It's always those kinds of games.
That was some strike, though. And Ryan Bertrand's strike. Can we talk about that?
Oh, yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Ryan Bertrand, I'm going to say it's possibly my goal of the weekend. Okay. Just because he's the captain of the team. It really came out of nothing. It was a great pullback. One of his own players slipped over as well. And just what an absolute rocket into the top left corner.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal goal by Ryan Bertrand.
Yeah.
And again, another defender banging it in.
Yeah.
Like just every Nacho Monreal. Like when you seriously think about this weekend's goals, so many of them came from defenders. It was quite funny.
Well, I read a fantastic column from Ruud Gullit on BBC, I think, and he was talking about how fullbacks nowadays in the Premier League have to do more. And that's what his issues are with Chelsea a little bit. He doesn't think the fullbacks at Chelsea are able to adapt to the game as it is now. They have to create more offense. They have to run more. They have to be scoring more. All these kinds of things have to happen.
Yeah, they have to become wingers.
Yeah,
they have to become wingers when they're attacking and then wing backs when they're defending. And you're right, it's a lot of work. I remember back in the day.
How old are you, Jack? Tell me about it back in the day. Was it the 90s?
I remember when we used to I remember when we used to play and we'd say like, oh, what position do you play? Left back. Oh, left back on the bench, or like, oh, left back in the changing rooms. Right. Like, because it was really considered like such an inopportune position.
Exactly.
But nowadays, the way the game's developed, it's like your central midfield drops into the back three, and then your wingers push up.
Yeah.
And now you've got your two wingers or whatever it is that you're playing up top now have the freedom, the ability to actually play that instead of have to worry about constantly getting back all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, the widths of the pitch nowadays definitely have become a lot. And I'll tell you who's doing that really well, Leicester.
Yeah.
Leicester get the ball into the centre of the field, and then they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options ahead of that one person who sat there in the middle of midfield to be able to just release it out to the sides and then bring it back into the middle again. Yeah. And yeah, it's good fun watching some of. I mean, even Bellerin. Yeah. Like honestly, I know I go back to Arsenal real quick. I wouldn't mind bringing in a right back and letting Bellerin push up that pitch a little bit and giving him that right. I mean, what an assist in the last 2 games, or 2 assists in the last 2 games. Yep. I would have no issue seeing him as a right winger,
and I think
or more of a right midfield.
He's absolutely got the skills to do it.
I believe that's what he did play at Barcelona before he came. I believe he did start as like a right winger, right back, but then obviously we needed the right back position filled, and that's why he filled it perfectly. Right. But yeah, I would happily see some of these wing backs now get pushed a little higher up the pitch and see what they can do with the ball at their feet a little more.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there, and I think that's going to be important. It's fascinating to watch
Alexander
the game
Arnold.
change. Alexander Arnold
would be a perfect one as well.
And Moreno, that's what they were trying to do with Moreno, but he couldn't quite make
rubbish.
Yeah, he was, because he was a terrible defender whenever he came back because he was exhausted from running up and down the pitch. Great speed. Really got in there in the offense.
Rapid.
Absolutely. But couldn't get back there to defend. Same thing with Nathaniel Klein. Klein, better defender than Moreno, great speed, but in the end, couldn't get back there and do enough that he needed to do. I like what we've got lined up. And speaking of Liverpool, they defeated Brighton and Hove Albion here, 1-0 from Anfield. Mo Salah goal in the 23rd minute. Really, it looks simple, but it's actually a nice piece of skill to hit it the way he hit it on the run. It was on the instep of his foot, just sliced it perfectly past the goal. Nothing he could do about it, right in the net. And I thought Matthew Ryan is the only reason this game wasn't 3 or 4-0.
Okay.
3-4-0, right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah. It's such a great goalkeeper for Crystal Palace. Did a great job. That one with Firmino. I'm sorry, with Brighton Hove. Brighton Hove. That one with Firmino when he blocked
right
that
at the
ball,
beginning when he dropped down like that.
It's so rare to see a goalkeeper react that quickly to a shot like that close.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I thought Liverpool played well, but I thought Brighton Hove came in with a lot of confidence off that Man U victory, and they gave us everything we could handle. But these are the games that if you want to be considered a contender for the title, you have to win. These are the hard scrabble games. You have to sneak out that victory, take those 3 points, go home, and you'll have more time in other games to show your flair and your skill and score 3 or 4 goals. This is the one you have to grind it out sometimes, and I think it bodes well for Liverpool that these are games that they usually drew or lost last year or rarely won, and they're the first one right off the bat here.
Yeah, I was Brighton's another one of those teams similar to what Wolves did with Man City.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing.
Yep.
They went out there to do one thing, which was to stop that front three.
Yeah.
That was it. If Liverpool can't score, we can't lose this game.
Exactly.
And that, I feel like, was their tactics, their point of view. That's how they went out and played that game because they looked solid.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's many other teams that would have been able to break that defense, would have been able to break that midfield, and would have been able to use the creativity in order to score more goals.
Yeah.
Because they just looked unbreakable.
Well, and that's been our problem for the last few years is being unable to beat
break
the teams
that
when they
defense.
park the bus like that.
And you were just, really watching Liverpool this time, just to play. I mean, like, Mane was at the top of the box in 1 second. He would do a quick 1-2 with Firmino, and then suddenly Mane was at the other end of the box, and then Salah would. And you were just watching these red dots. It looked like there was 20 players for Liverpool. And it was, again, really exciting football by him to watch. It's just so enjoyable watching that real football.
It's not a bias. It's you're watching a man like Klopp who finally has the players he needs to make rock and roll football fully realized on the pitch in the English Premier League. And I think he's doing a fantastic job with this team. It's fun to watch them. I no longer have that sense of like, oh, we're going to blow it. We're going to make a mistake or make some kind of error. I feel like everyone's on board, and it's fun to watch them play this way. And the defense, look, 3 clean sheets to start out the season. Alisson's barely been tested.
Who was your goalkeeper?
Yeah, Alisson. Yeah.
It was Alisson this game?
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal again.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Barely challenged. Van Dijk has done a great job now.
Wait, it wasn't Becker? Is it Alisson Becker?
Yeah, Alisson Becker.
That's how he says his name. Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why. Because I always thought, I kept seeing Edison on the back of Man City's goalkeeper shirt, and I always got confused. And then when I saw Becker, I was like, wow, now I'm really confused.
Right.
But right at the end of the game with Glenn Murray.
Yeah.
Am I right? Glenn Murray's header.
Yeah.
And Becker
Great
had
save.
to get that great save off again. Like I say, it was the goalkeeper's weekend.
Right.
It was the goalkeeper's weekend from Matt Ryan to Becker. I have them all written in here. Like, goalkeeper was great, goalkeeper was great, goalkeeper was great.
Yeah.
So, again, really enjoyable watching it.
And you talk about, look, I know a lot of people have been sending us comments, hey, why don't you talk about this league, that league? I get it. I know you want to hear more from other leagues. We'll get to that point. The thing is, the English Premier League, to me, has the greatest concentration of talent across any continent in any league, top to bottom. These teams, these games are competitive every single time. I think there's more power imbalance in all the other leagues. So we can talk about a Real Madrid, a Barcelona, or Atletico Madrid. We go to Real Madrid, but then it's like 2, 3, or 4, and then you just start to drop off. Where I think in the English Premier League, anything could happen at any weekend in the English Premier League, and I like that. It's a good concentration.
Yeah, and I don't oversaturate it as well. Like, we're already here for like just short of an hour. So giving that time to the games that we have. Is what we'd like to do. But then obviously once the Champions League comes around, the FA Cup comes around,
which is
the
starting
League
to
Cup,
ramp up.
Once they start all coming around
this week,
happily we'll be talking about the Champions League, the European League, and the different things that then include obviously a lot of the English Premier League as well.
Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about the Carabao Cup. You can kiss my butt with
the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, what a useless name. I can't even with that name. Liverpool now with this victory goes top after 3 weeks by goal differential over Tottenham, and of course Watford. My prediction for top 5 here coming in: defeated Crystal Palace 2-1 at Vicarage Road Stadium. Goals from Roberto Pereira and Jose Helevas, with a late goal from Zaha for Crystal Palace, who I think is being wasted. If I was a team that had aspirations for top 5 finish, top 10 finish, I would go get Zaha from Crystal Palace in the winter break. Somehow, if he could be taken out of there. I don't know, but I think Zaha's being wasted on that team. He's such a great goal scorer. I would put him on a better team.
But where's he going to go? What's he going to do? Who's he going to take over for Man City on the right wing? No one. Who's he going to take over for Chelsea on the right wing? No. Well, Pedro? Nah. What, you think he's better than Pedro? Maybe as a backup for Pedro.
I think he's a better scorer than Pedro.
No, I'm going to have to disagree with you.
All right,
on that
fine.
one.
You can disagree.
Who's going to take Mo Salah's position in Liverpool?
You're not taking Mo Salah's position.
Like, okay, sure. Honestly, I could see him.
Is there Manchester United?
Arsenal.
What about Manchester? You could see him at Arsenal.
I could possibly see him at Arsenal, but that means that involves a whole shuffle around depending on how Unai Emery wants to play. I could maybe see him at Man United, but then that means taking Jesse Lingard off or taking Sanchez off. Like,
I wouldn't take Sanchez off, but maybe Lingard.
I'm going to disagree. Not just because I'm being an arsehole, but you got to remember, Sanchez when he was at Arsenal, gave the ball away. I believe it was 62 times in one game, the most a player has ever done it before.
It's true,
and then for his first game for Man United, did it 67 times, broke his own record for the most amount of time somebody's given. Those numbers could be wrong, but for some reason, I'm pretty sure I remember him being around about that.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to Liverpool real quick.
Sure.
Why is James Milner becoming like the English Pirlo?
It's incredible. There it is. And Milner was the one who got the steal that led to the goal.
That led to the goal.
Right.
But,
incredible work.
Yeah, really good work. Great. I mean, he's been there for probably 10 years now, I think, if not more than that.
Yeah.
And just for some reason, just dropping passes around and really taking control of the game and becoming like a real. I want him with the captain's armband every game. Yeah, I don't want Jordan Henderson with the captain's armband. I'll be honest. No, I don't want
Jordan. Listen. I'll tell you right now. Jordan Henderson. Great worker, all that jazz, not a captain.
He's Jack Wilshere. He's just another Jack Wilshere. I'm sorry. He shouldn't be at Liverpool either.
No.
He should be at like a Southampton or he should be at a West Ham.
I agree. He's a mid-table player.
Yeah,
in my opinion, he would be leading, blah, blah, blah. Absolutely. Milner, it took me a while to come around him. I thought he's one of these slow, older players.
Mate,
we wouldn't need him.
Liverpool's
he's been
utility
great. I know. He's been great. And I've had to come around to that myself.
Left back, right back, central midfield,
do whatever.
Right wing, left wing. It does not matter. He will go and do a cracking job.
He is the secret weapon that we picked up from Man City, and he's been fantastic ever since. And he said, and Klopp was smart to build, in essence, around him. Yeah. Everything can fly around him, both from the back and the front, but he is great in the middle.
A little bit. Yes. He's the real cog in the machine that makes that Liverpool team work.
And you need those kind of players on your team.
He's an anchor
to play. Yeah, exactly. To play in the Premier League. So anyway, all right. So Capoue was lucky not to get a red card for that studs up break on Zaha's leg.
Oh, Capoue.
Capoue. I was really surprised by that.
Yeah. That first one. Again, there you go.
Yeah.
Like that. There's so much inconsistency nowadays that it really is starting to get on my nerves a little bit.
That was a red card. Like that's a studs up.
Yeah, that's studs up straight down the back of the
leg.
leg. Yeah. Like that deserves more than a red card.
Yeah. Well, Troy Deeney said they got lucky. He said that their play was poor by our standards, but he also said that it gives the team confidence they could play poor and still win. Now, a lot of people were giving me crap online saying they haven't played anybody. Who cares? You win the games that are in front of you.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do to survive in this league. I think Watford has showed more. You can say they haven't beaten anybody, but they've played well. They're not grinding out these wins by luck. Even this game against Crystal Palace, I think Deeney's being a little unfair to his team. I thought they overall played well and were able to find the spots and could have scored even more goals.
One other thing I will have to say, just devil's advocacy type of thing. Capoue, with him not getting that red card, he did then set up the goal.
Exactly.
I don't want to take anything away from him. That a brilliant run from the middle of the pitch.
Right.
Directly across the middle and then released it nicely out to Pereira, I believe it was. And then Pereira with the finish as well. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Watford have no issue in scoring goals. I really don't think they do. They've got they can score. They've got Troy Deeney, who's your target man.
Right. Troy Deeney's
They've
great.
got that, what's his name? Holevas or whatever it is. He put in a cracker as well.
He did.
Did he score it?
Yeah, Holevas,
he scored a cracker as well, right? So you've got him on one side, Pereira on the other, Troy Deeney in the middle. They've got every thing that they need to do to score an attack with.
Every once in a while, you have a team that is an old school English side, has that vibe.
Yeah.
And Watford has that vibe. Tough as nails, hard to break down, and constantly bashing you in the face as they try to score goals.
And Ruben Neves,
like that.
Ruben Neves, what a snap up he was. Jeez Louise. It reminds me of Santi Cazorla.
Oh yeah, Cazorla.
So
I'm sure you do.
Arsenal. I miss him so much. But yeah, that's honestly who he really reminds me of, that position right there. Banging in free kicks left, right and centre. Putting up the balls, putting in the crosses. Pinpoint as well. Like he knows who he's crossing it to every single time. And it goes to that person every single time.
Javi Gracia has this team set.
Yeah, definitely. He's done a really good job.
You can doubt me all you want. I just have a feeling.
The only reason I doubt you is because of their depth. They don't have much depth to
That's
the squad.
absolutely fair.
If we lose a Ruben Neves, if we lose a Pereira, if we lose a Troy Deeney, or Capoue, who is there to replace them?
Yeah.
And I think that's the only thing that I'm worried about with Watford.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
Absolutely fair. You know, we had the same with Leicester City.
Have they got any cup? Are they in any cups?
No,
this year?
I don't think they are, other than the standard ones.
I mean, they'll be in the FA Cup and the
Right.
League Cup and stuff,
Right.
but they're not in European.
No.
They didn't get
Burnley,
European last
Burnley
year.
is.
Burnley is. Yeah,
that's our
it,
next
yeah.
game, and that seems to be something that may be messing with Burnley. The Clarets, is it the Clarets? Yes.
Yeah, the Clarets. Yeah.
Fulham beat them 4-2 at Craven Cottage. A lot of people are saying Fulham thrashed them. I didn't feel this way. It was 3-2 at the end of the first half, so it was a cracking game.
People were saying that because Fulham played football.
Yes, they did.
Fulham played like they were supposed to be in the Premier League today, over this weekend.
That's right. You've been on them for the last couple
I've been shutting down Fulham religiously because they've just been poor.
Yeah.
They've been very poor.
They seem to step behind the last couple of weeks, but this week they finally showed up. But again, Burnley's not really the toughest competition for them to take on.
Burnley again, Sean Dyche, they're a solid back line.
Yeah.
They're, like we say, one of these English teams
Yeah.
who are, like, got that sturdiness to them.
But they're in the
point.
relegation zone right now.
Correct.
With 1 point.
So that's where it comes up, and that's where you say, cool, Fulham needed what Arsenal needed.
Yeah, a victory to show that they belong here, that they do have the tools, and they are a talented team. They definitely showed it here. My goal of the week, Jean-Michel Sarri's goal. My God, that was gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful goal. Right in the top corner. Fantastic shot. Then they got 2 quick goals from Mitrovic, and then from Schürrle at the end. Because Mitrovic was going for the hat trick, bounced around, ended up on Schürrle's foot. He put it away. Burnley got goals from Jeff Hendrick and James Tarkowski. Both decent goals. They were scrappy goals, but they were decent goals. Yeah. And they got in. Like I said, it was only 3-2 going into the break, and Fulham didn't score till late in the game to really ice this thing out. And I wonder if competing, a lot of people talking about whether competing in the Europa League is starting to affect Burnley. I still think we're early in the season. I don't know if that's it at all. I just think maybe they're still trying to find their footing here.
I mean,
the depth is an issue here too with this competition.
They were a pretty solid team last year as well. So I don't know why Burnley have started out the way they've started out. I just don't know if they're not clicking. I don't know if there's something wrong in the dressing room. I don't know if they haven't got the chemistry going on for them. But Fulham looked like a team who had chemistry this weekend.
Yeah.
Fulham looked like a team who enjoyed playing with each other.
They've got the talent.
Yeah, I expect with Mitrovic as well.
Yeah.
Very good friend of mine, Jordan, is a diehard Newcastle fan.
Oh, really? Okay.
Up the pies. Like, he's a massive Newcastle fan. And we used to chat about Mitrovic consistently because you loved watching him play because of how passionate and angry he was. And as a striker, very similar to Eric Cantona to a point.
Oh, right.
Gave me, not talent-wise in any way, shape, or form, let's be real.
No one's
Eric Cantona, absolutely phenomenal. But just in the way that he really wanted to play. And I think he's going to go on a bit of a run now.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's got that, and I think the Fulham team have kind of those balls into the box, because that's what Mitrovic is.
Yep.
You put a ball into the box 8 times out of 10, he's going to be the one who connects to it. Whether it's to nod it down for someone like Jean-Michel Sarri to come up and absolutely hammer it into the goal, or for one of his other strikers or wingers around him to then do a nice little tap in, or for him to score himself. So yeah, I look forward now. I think Fulham got a nice little boost. I think they've kind of found their way, and hopefully they're able to carry it on. Moving on.
I can't say this enough. This season, already 3 weeks in, I have enjoyed the football more in the first 3 weeks of this season than maybe I've had in any of the previous 5 to 10 seasons. I think these teams are bringing in the right players. And when you're shocked about these internationals on really great national teams coming in and playing for the lower or mid-table teams, you're surprised by this because you think they're all just going to glut at the top. But in fact, it's being spread out across the league. And you only have 3 or 4 teams that seem a bit out of it and not good quality-wise. And that's fantastic.
No. I mean, Andre Schürrle was one of my favorite players. I mean, I used to bang goals in with him on FIFA.
Yeah, Schürrle's great.
He used to sit on that left wing, cutting right foot, whether it was a finesse or a smash, right into the top corner. And he used to do it for Dortmund as well. Like, he was a quality player. To see Andre Schürrle in a Fulham shirt,
it's weird.
It's so strange. But that's also where you bring up, like you say, this is one of the most competitive leagues in the world.
Absolutely.
Like, Schürrle could have stayed in Germany. I'm sure he could have. He could have gone to another team in Germany. But
Wolfsburg or something, or Schalke or
exactly.
something.
Dropped down a couple teams in Germany. But no, instead they make the trip over to England. And don't get me wrong, England's not the best place to live. So I mean, I'm just not lying to you there.
Listen, I lived there for 6 months. I had a great time. I don't know what
you only lived there for 6 months.
Yeah, and I was taken care of. I didn't have to pay rent or anything because it was part of the exchange program.
No, of
so I had a
course.
really nice time. But I get it. If you live there long enough, maybe it's not.
No, it's a one. I'm not going to cuss out
the
my
weather
home
and
country.
everything like that.
It's just there's England, and then there's. I mean, look, I'm not like I said,
Spain
not cussing out
or
England.
France.
Well, you get my point. Maybe I'm
exactly.
just saying that because that's where we like to go on vacation, and probably the French are like, "Oh, England, I want to go. It's amazing." Like, I don't know. Probably that's
really
the way
doubt
it goes.
the frogs you're saying.
But that's to see Andre Schürrle at Fulham.
Yeah.
Is just such a weird
It really
thing
is.
to see. And great goal, though. Typical Andre Schürrle goal. Off the top left hand of the box, puts it into the bottom
with power.
left ankle. With a nice
power
smash
and
right
speed,
into
yeah.
it. But yeah, I really think that shows the oomph that this league now has.
Well, speaking to your friend Jordan, we're moving on here. Newcastle losing to Chelsea 2-1 from St. James's Park. This was a tight contest till the 76th minute when all the goals started going in. There was a penalty. What are your thoughts on this penalty? Fabian Schär taking out Marcos Alonso. Do you think that was a penalty? I didn't think it was a penalty.
Gary Lineker didn't think it was a penalty either. There was a lot. I think Ian Wright was on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
I'm a big Twitter fan when we're watching the football. I love going through Twitter because, like I said, some of my favorite pundits from Gary Lineker to Ian Wright, a lot of them are always constantly tweeting as well. And so it's just a lot of fun to watch these people comment on the games as well.
Yeah.
I've never been a Marcos Alonso fan. I just think he's one of those players that and he'll fall over.
Yeah.
Like he just always has been. He's just one of those players. He's got a great left foot.
It's the Chelsea disease.
Yeah.
It's the Chelsea disease.
Also,
you blow on them, they immediately dive to the ground.
We'll talk about DeAndre Yedlin and Olivier Giroud though, because I do think.
You think that was a legitimate?
I think that one was legitimate.
Okay.
I saw that, and again, this is where I say Yedlin looked back before Giroud came over, and then his elbow. Yedlin's elbow did not need to be up here.
Okay.
So he didn't have to elbow him, but he had to put something there that Giroud could run into at least.
Right.
So this is a very unnatural position for somebody to try and receive the ball in.
That's
why I thought that, honestly. But the header from Joselu, I can't take that away from.
Oh my God.
Great cross in and
Beautiful.
Impressive header. David Luiz fell asleep at the front post.
Yep.
I don't think Marcos Alonso was a penalty. I don't think.
I didn't think so either.
That was just too soft.
Yeah, someone said that because he made a scissoring motion with his leg, but he got the ball first and then eventually the man. But like the ball was
the
he
ball
had
was
a majority
gone,
of his leg. Yeah, the ball. So just because he kicked up his leg, like you can't always control how you're sliding into a tackle afterwards. Like the sliding into the tackle initially, yes, but how your legs are going to go depending on the player, how they move, and you're trying to avoid hitting that player.
And it could be a number of things.
He didn't climb into him.
He didn't like smash him and put him 10 feet into the air.
Yeah.
He went for the ball, got the ball, and then, I mean, look at these pitches nowadays. They're beautifully grassed. They're beautifully well kept after.
Yeah.
When you slide, you don't stop still.
No,
Like,
exactly.
it's technically impossible. So, that to me was never a penalty, unfortunately. I think the referee, they're so sensitive, the referees now, and they have to be.
Yeah.
They really do.
And you mentioned Joselu. Joselu's my second nominee for goal of the week. Sorry's my goal of the week. Joselu, yeah.
Joselu
I
was
love
the
that
same-
header.
Oh,
that
nice,
header
okay.
was so tight,
Oh, it's
so
perfect.
difficult to slide in, and he got it in there with power. I really liked. Sometimes headers are you're like, oh, the header's great. Like Harry Kane's header was really nice for Tottenham. But, but I thought
who else?
Joselu's
Who
was
else's
great.
was? From Bournemouth.
Yeah.
When Nathan Ake
Yes.
finished it off.
Ake was
was
great.
it Wilson? Was it Callum
Yeah,
Wilson or
Callum Wilson
Joshua
it bounced
King?
right off and then boom.
Yeah, bounced off first. Again,
Yep.
another great header as well. One thing I do want to bring up is something we spoke about VAR and stuff getting introduced.
Oh, yeah.
And Rebecca Lowe, Robbie Mustoe, and I believe it was Kyle Martino. Kyle Martino on with Mark Clattenburg this weekend on
Not
NBC
Latino,
Sports.
It's not Martino.
Not Martino, Kyle Martino. They were talking about how people say that if you were to introduce VAR into the game, right, it would take up too much time.
But
It's the players that do it.
yeah.
The players, and when we saw them run through the FA Cup final with Mark Clattenburg, you saw that the referee was not the one who was wasting the time. Everything was working at the same time. They had VAR working for him, and so he got it checked twice because Ashley Young and whoever it was screaming at him, check the VAR, check the VAR. And he's like, it's been checked.
Yeah.
And then they're like, check the VAR. So what does he do? Check it again. He didn't waste any time.
Nope.
That was the players consistently all the time going around him. And so after seeing that and after having Mark Clattenburg really break down the way that referee team works, I was very much so ready to now introduce whatever it is that the referees want to introduce to these games. I don't disagree with VAR.
I want the
seeing
VAR in that. I want it.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. The players are the ones who are going to delay it. The refs are the ones who have to be in charge.
Especially for these
moving
red
quickly.
cards.
Yeah.
These red cards are really starting to get on my nerves. What was there, 4?
Yeah.
This weekend?
Yeah.
3 or 4 this weekend? And if I'm correct, somebody's already got like collectively there's already been like over 15 or something, and it's like we're 3 days into the damn league, 3 weeks into the league.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I don't like
It's a lot.
people are getting red cards for what people used to get like a slap on the wrists for back in the day. And everyone's like, protect the players. Yeah. Okay.
It's
protect
going.
the players.
It's going across all sports leagues. This mollycoddling of the players is starting to become a little too over the top.
You seeing it in NFL?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really?
The new helmet rule is what we talked about on Collider Sports Time. Our first episode dropped.
Plug.
Yeah, that was one of the first things we talked about on there. Whether the helmet rule was the reason for the Marquise Lee knee injury in the Jacksonville Jaguars. If the new helmet rule is affecting players across the league and how they're hitting and how they're doing this, and if it makes it a softer league, and if it's making it a softer league, why the hell are we watching it? And so those are those questions that come in, and you're seeing it here now. Same thing with baseball. They're doing the same thing with baseball. So it's happening.
Wait, you can't get injured in baseball?
Yeah, well, you can, but it's all
By
different.
what?
Sliding in, ankle twists, slamming into players. Those kinds of things happen at the home plate. Certainly, injuries can happen there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's players
I
get
thought you
injured
just
all the time.
hit a ball and then run in a square like
It's not
rounders.
cricket. It's not cricket, Jack. It's real sport. Anyway, so the one thing I do want to get into, because we're running out of time real quick, because we want to give our predictions for next week, is this. I want to leave you guys with something about Chelsea. Chelsea under Sarri is they had 82% of the possession in this game in Newcastle. They're averaging per game 763 passes.
Yes, they're becoming Barcelona.
Per game, yes, this is what they're doing per game. And Guardiola last year, his Man City was averaging 743 passes. So this is a change that you're seeing with Sarri. And I think that's what Hulit's article that I referenced earlier is bringing up, this idea that he's going to have to get these fullbacks that can play his style of football if he's going to survive and win a title for Chelsea in this league. And even if you look at Jorginho, who he brought over from Napoli, 158 passes at St. James's Park. He attempted 173, completed 158 for 91% accuracy, 173 passes. Newcastle completed 131 passes as a team. So Jorginho completed 27 more passes than Newcastle did.
Look at you with a quick math.
Game. I'm just saying it's it's an incredible statistic, and I just want to leave the fans with that.
Wait, how many?
As you watch, Sarri.
How many did they have in that Newcastle game? Upwards of 900, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
962 touches or passes or something.
Yeah,
completed
it was
passes
insane.
they had that
It was
game.
insane.
That's phenomenal. I mean,
it's
like,
a new type of play.
Yeah,
Yep.
really excited to watch them go through that as well. I miss Fabregas a little bit.
Yeah, Cesc would have been. Yeah.
I do miss seeing Fabregas in that Chelsea
that's a
shirt as
fair
well.
point.
Now Jorginho's over there. I just feel like we're not really ever going to see much of Cesc again.
Yeah, and I don't know if Giroud can play that kind of game. I don't know if he can play the pass
Bring
game.
him back. Just come back to Arsenal. Our arms are open for you, Giroud. We will welcome you whenever you want to come
It's
back.
a good-looking man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Good-looking man.
So if I'm not
great hair,
mistaken,
great facial hair.
in
The man's got
2015 or
everything.
2016, he was voted the most sexiest football player by American women.
No surprise.
So, and I don't even know if American women knew what they were voting for. I think they were just shown a bunch of attractive, like English Premier League soccer
yes,
players.
Giroud.
And Giroud won it, yeah, which made me absolutely crack up.
All right, let's go through these predictions real quick, Jack. We only have like 3-5 minutes.
Okay, let's do it.
Leicester City versus Liverpool. Who you got?
Liverpool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Brighton Hove Albion versus Fulham.
Shit, good game. 2-2.
Yeah. 2-2? All right, and that's going to be at Amex Stadium. Sorry, I have all these rolling up here on the internet, so it takes a little bit. Okay, Chelsea taking on Bournemouth. Oh, I love this matchup. I think it's going to be a draw myself personally.
At Chelsea?
Oh, good question.
It probably will be.
Let's
If you
see.
read Chelsea first, it will
It
be
is
at
at Chelsea, yes,
Yeah,
Stamford
so I don't think Bournemouth will be able to score against them, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I'd have to say like a 1 or 2-0 to Chelsea.
I've got Liverpool. I've got Fulham in those first two games, and I definitely have Chelsea here, but a close match.
Cool.
Crystal Palace versus Southampton.
Wow, Crystal Palace.
Yeah. You feel like they've got more of the. It's going to be at Selhurst Park too, so it'll be there.
Yeah,
so I think
Højbjerg's
Crystal.
gone as well. Southampton didn't do that good against Leicester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, Zaha maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
All
Danny Ings might turn up.
Oh,
that day.
dang,
I have a feeling
please.
that Danny Ings might turn up that day.
Everton and Huddersfield Town.
Everton.
Yeah, I think even without Richarlison, I think Everton has the tools to take care of Huddersfield. West Ham versus Wolves.
Wolves.
Yeah, I think Wolves as well. I think West Ham's not going to.
No, I'm going to be nice,
Bit,
and I'm going to West Ham. You're getting that win.
Wow, you think so?
I'm giving it to them.
All right. Man City versus Newcastle.
Go on the Pies. So hope Newcastle can take that one.
No, Man City's going to destroy
I know.
them.
I know.
It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. Benitez, I'm really worried. He had a fallout with one of his players this week. There was very public fallout. I wonder if Benitez is going to finish this thing out.
Was a very public fallout,
Yeah,
actually. Yeah, you're right.
Arsenal, Cardiff City.
Let's do this.
Okay, I think so too. Arsenal will take care of that. Manchester United, Burnley. I think that's a Man U win.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Wolves, Tottenham.
What a game that will be.
That's going to be a fantastic game.
What a game that will be.
I've already reserved my Sunday for that game.
All right. I mean, I'm going to take Spurs just because I'm not an idiot. Smart money's on Spurs, but what a game that is. It has a chance to be game of the weekend.
You're completely wrong. Watford is going to win that game and show everybody they deserve to be in top 5. Yeah, I got Watford.
Watford, Tottenham.
Yeah, that's what
you
I said.
said Wolves, Tottenham.
Oh, did I Wolves? Sorry,
yeah.
Watford,
Tottenham.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an even more interesting game now. I'm still going Tottenham, but I'm going Tottenham just because Tottenham. And I think it will be a very close game though. Goals from both teams.
It'll be at Vicarage Road.
Be at Vicarage Road as well. Tottenham ain't gonna lose.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I got Watford taking that one. We'll
where
see.
Are they gonna lose? There is no position on their team right now that's weak.
We'll see. Punch in the mouth. We'll see what they do. All right. Well, that's been our recap for Week 3 of the Collider Premier League. Thanks for joining us, Jack Hind. Where can they find you, brother?
There you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at Jack Kinder. Like I said, I'm massively on Twitter on the weekends when we're playing. So feel free to tweet me. Let's have some conversations. I know Roka's up on the Twitter as well. We're often texting and tweeting each other. So yeah, come chat with us.
Yeah. We've been loving all the comments you've been sending us, all the tweets you've been sending us, and tagging me and Jack on them. You can find me at the Roka Says. Let's get that conversation going.
Yeah.
And as the season goes on, we get a little tighter on these games. Maybe we'll start asking for some questions we can answer as we go along for the fans, make it more interactive for them. So thanks everybody for watching this week. Let us know what you thought about the games this past week, what we thought about the games. Let us know in the comment section below. Remember to like and share this video on your social media and subscribe to Collider Sports for more coverage like this and the Collider Sports iTunes feed there, the podcast feed. Go there and subscribe as well. Get all kinds of content, including our new show, Collider Sports Time. That's a flagship show. Eventually, as these games start going, we might have Jack come on to Collider Sports Time, talk about a little football there as well.
Talk about NFL?
Yeah, no. I'm talking Premier League or Champions League.
As the games get bigger. NFL.
Yeah.
I know this stuff, okay?
Yeah, he just got hired to be in our fantasy league on Thursday. We'll see what happens.
You guys put money on me to win this draft. I know you can't win a draft, apparently, but I'm going to win this. I'm going to win this draft.
Totally. Put it on the Englishman. There you go. All right, we'll talk to y'all next week on the Collider Premier League recap show.
Premier League.